Any new therapist updates? No, I haven't seen him since last month, and like my next appointment is gonna be in 2 weeks, just because I feel like next week is gonna be stressful for me, and I figured it would be ideal if that happens, and then, you know, I process it, and then I see him the week after, and we can talk about it. Like even if something good happens or something bad happens. Whereas otherwise, my monthly appointment was supposed to be this coming week. For more tea? Honestly, I don't know if there's gonna be tea. I mean, I imagine he'll still be sexy in 2 weeks. I don't think it would be very different. Um, Matches next week. Ooh. So that's why I'm on edge. Tell me one good thing that happened. It's double edged. So my mom called and we talked for 2 hours. That's a good thing. That's actually part of why I was late because she had called me earlier and we talked for 2 hours and then she was like, "Oh, I have a meeting, like I have to go." And so I was like, "Okay, bye." And I thought we were done talking because we talked for 2 hours and she was the one who ended the conversation. But then I was gonna stream and she called me back after her meeting to talk more. You want the soap? I hope so. Oh yeah, by the way, everyone, please pray for me or please send well wishes. I don't know. Share some of your good juju with me. Watch in 2 weeks he has a buzz cut. He kind of already does. That's what I like about it. Derby, what's one good thing that happened for you today? What are we praying for? Oh, that I match where I want. Have you seen the pit? No, that's just because I don't watch TV, but I have heard good things. What are we sending you well wishes for? Yeah, so I can be employed. I already pray every day for how grateful I am for you. Oh, thank you. For a residency, so I get the specialty I want and steady income. I can pay back my student loans for 8 p.m. I know it should have been earlier, but my mom called and she takes priority. I had blueberry muffins this morning. Ooh, that is a good thing. Okay, so because it's Friday and because I'm lazy, also I'm justifying it to myself because I know next week is going to be stressful. Or at least this weekend and Monday will be stressful. I figure we will just hang out, have fun, chit chat, and I have been doing a lot of thinking, and as a result, I have a lot of thoughts about many things. After boxing or something. Yeah, so I find out on Monday if I matched or not. So if I did match, then I'm just waiting out the week until Friday to find out where I matched. But if I don't match, then that means I have to soap, which means you spend the week kind of scrambling to fill a position that went unfilled. So really, I think Monday's the more stressful day for me. At this point, I will be happy just to have a job in general. Okay. You cannot match? How likely is that? It happens, especially for more competitive specialties. The match rate is pretty low, but it definitely happens. Oh, thank you for the bits, Ruby. Deep thinking, women having thoughts. Funny that you would say that because that's the perfect segue. That's so perfect. Or well, maybe I'll set the agenda because I am still trying to sleep earlier. Um, we can do that, the thing I'm about to segue into. I've made up my mind on the Taylor Lorenz chorus stuff. I'm firmly on her side, so we can talk about that, and I can rage bait you. Maybe we'll finish reading that paper that we started last time, or we can read something else or watch something else. whatever. If you were going for derm, I don't know, but ortho, you got it. I don't know, the ortho match rate is pretty low. Okay, so I won't dilly-dally. This joke, women having thoughts, it reminds me people in general don't get married today, which is why we need to stop normalizing this kind of rhetoric. I don't think it's because it furthers feminism. I actually think it's anti-feminist to say this. And maybe let me explain, okay? So, with the example of political beliefs and why I'm not willing to entertain it, it's actually because I worry that conservatism affects your likelihood of coming to one opinion over the other in all areas of life, including what a relationship should look like. And I don't just mean who does the cooking, who does the cleaning, who takes out the trash, whatever. That stuff I actually don't care about at all. And unfortunately, maybe it's just the way I was raised, or like maybe it's just who I am. Maybe it's just female biology, but I actually do really enjoy like cleaning and I guess traditionally female gender roles. But my worry is that many conservatives have internalized that boomer mentality that happy wife, happy life is how you adjudicate disagreements. And that's actually the part I'm not okay with. So, like when I was reading Culture of Narcissism, there we like even read a little part of the chapter on feminism, which before everyone freaks out, that book is actually foundational and leans into modern conservative thought, okay? But it's a good book. It was written in the 70s, very nuanced, made me think a lot, even if I don't agree with all of it. However, interestingly enough, in the feminism chapter, while critiquing feminism, he himself points out that the way that historically men and women were able to find peace and coexist with each other is by coming up with little stories about the other gender. So, like, like women will be like, oh, like, he's just being a man, right? Because men are emotionally unintelligent. And then women, like, so that will be like the female story when they're complaining to their other women friends. And that's a boomerism of like, oh, like men just don't get it, right? They're like not, like, they're just not like us the way, like, we will really come and like display our full emotions and like we can't expect them to understand because they're just different. And then men will have like the flip story of, you know, that, like that's just the way women are, kind of like this TikTok, right? Sometimes they just have this weird little outburst, they get their panties in a twist. It is what it is. And so historically, the way that we found peace through difference is just coming up with some dismissive story about the other gender and seeing it as something to accept and make light of and move on from. Led to men not letting women vote, and was that peaceful? Well, no, so I guess the other, maybe I'm like being too specific to this example. So he does kind of talk about this part of like why it seems as though, how do I put this? It's that why these stories were necessary. Okay, so back in the day, right, as you pointed out, women could not vote, women could not have a bank account without a man signing on to it. And by and large, women had less education, didn't really have as many job opportunities. And honestly, if you were to take just a blank slate human being and let them choose, would you rather be a man or would you rather be a woman in this case? I think I think we can reasonably conclude that blank slate human being would probably almost always choose to be a man. So in that situation, then it becomes a question of, if you are born a woman, how do you really make peace with the situation? And part of the way that you get there, and part of the way you kind of accept your inferior societal position, is to come up with